Went live. All right, we're on air. Happy July 21st, Thursday slash backdrop day. We're going to do a quick design check-in meeting today. BackdropCMS.org, our website, has a couple of things we're working on for it. Designs we need to come up with are for the Find Layouts listing page, the layout project pages. And both of those two sections can be derived from existing designs for modules and or themes as necessary. But it's also made a lot less urgent because of the fact that we already have Project Browser in core. So when we get to those, that's fine, no huge rush. But the next major item we're working on developing is a forum, and I think we've got a bunch of progress made on the forum module in Contrib, which is starting to make it work a little bit more like Backdrop, like we want things to work in Backdrop with config files for views and stuff like that that'll start to stick stuff together for us. We have a bunch of sections that have designs didn't have designs but got built that might need a kind of an aesthetic review. That includes the blog or news section, the event listing, the service provider listing, and new and exciting, we now have designs for the showcase section. So I don't know if, Darius, you want to do a walkthrough for those. I think we've got a couple of new landing pages since the last time we did it.
I'm prepared. Let me see what, is it on InVision?
It is.
Okay, cool. Do you have it up?
Yeah, there's a link in the agenda. Here, I can just throw it into chat. That would help. Here.
I'm not prepared, ladies and gentlemen. You can do it. Go ahead. It's not loading for me. My internet's being weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can bring it up too.
Yeah, my InVision won't even load. So.
Okay. My InVision is trying to load.
Yeah, are you having a problem too?
There it is.
Okay.
Let me see if I can figure out how to share the other screen. Wonder what's on my desktop. Alright. Do you guys see something that resembles a browser window?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So this is, I think I've already moved forward 3 screens here. We can start there, I suppose. So this is the node that we looked at this last time, which is going to have a big, beautiful image for each item in the showcase. It'll kind of help set the mood for whatever it is that we're showcasing. An area for some text about the item, bullet list for things people might need to know about the website, and then we talked about adding a bunch of different screenshots at various different sizes, so we have places for them to be full screen, we have places for them to be tablet size or phone size, and then we have other parts of the page that we can insert various other things like testimonials or more images. So depending on what kind of content we get for each showcase item, we can be a little bit clever about how we lay it out on the page. We've got a really good kind of framework here that we can use to drop things in different places. So that's what we had last time. Since then, there are 2 new designs on here. One of them, I don't know if these were
extra wide.
Yeah, this might be extra wide.
Oh, sorry about that.
Or where it has like the featured ones at the top and then all of them at the bottom. I think that was how we organized these. With the beautiful photo as the main thing that you see on the listing page. So it's kind of the mood for each item, but not actually a screenshot of each item. So a bunch of screenshots isn't going to be as beautiful to look at. And then we have one more here, which is the backdrop page itself. That was this is a 4x4 grid at the top, and then a 3 by however many at the bottom. So this might just be 2.
It's 2 of the same. Yeah,
yeah.
The others just show the like extra large responsive state, because I feel like a lot of sites forget about what happens on really big screens.
Yeah. So it can just spread out.
It's getting bigger these days, you know.
Okay. I think I'd seen these before and they look fantastic to me, but I'm not sure we got a chance to put them on the video for this weekly call. So I'm just really glad that we gotta.
Yeah, and I just took a stab at the bottom. Let me know if you want me to add or subtract anything else, because I don't think we really talked about the content strategy in that section.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, we'll have enough content initially for it to be an issue, but we might need to think about, like, once we start getting more than however many we have shown in this mock-up, giving people a way to kind of slice and dice by a specific industry or a specific feature, like e-commerce or something like that, might also be handy.
Yeah.
But we won't need that for a little while, so we can see what we get and then try and divide it.
One thought I have looking at it, and it's minor, is it might be cool to have a spot for them to upload like a logo or a mark. If there's like an impressive company, it'd be cool to get their branding on there. People would recognize it immediately. But that might also not work at all because of, it'd be on an image or a bar or something. But I was thinking like maybe the left of the name or maybe replacing the name, so you could see the logo. But yeah, like I said.
Yeah, I definitely don't think there's any harm in collecting that, but it might take some work to figure out how to display it.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like, do we trust whoever uploads it to make sure that it works well when it gets used in the template?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think let's go ahead and add the field. I think it's a good idea. And what we can do is on the ones that we curate, like the top 4, however many that are featured, we can do a little check on that logo and make sure that it's the right one, and we can contact them and say, hey, we want to feature your website in our showcase. We need an image that's transparent background. Like, there's definitely room for the back and forth, and then that way if we wanted to get one added, we could, and we could kind of make sure that it looked good. But maybe for all of these other ones at the bottom, we just collect the field and it won't be displayed unless we want to feature it, and then that way it's less work for us to worry about it for all of them. But if we wanted to put it on the featured ones, we could.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, we'll start with that and see how it goes, and then as we start to get websites, if we want to give people a way to filter them somehow in the all websites area, we can revisit that in the future too. But I think this is a great place to start.
Yeah, I think we've got filter styles that we could easily just sort of slap on top.
Okay.
Getting kind of modular in a good way, I think.
Yeah.
Different elements that we've designed. So.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Cool, thanks.
Hey. All right. So next on the agenda is backdrop marketing, design items needed. It would be great if we could get some kind of a business card that anybody who's interested in talking about backdrop at events could use to hand out, here's some more information on backdrop. Particularly if you want to make it business card, you put your name on it, give yourself some kind of title, like backdrop evangelist. That would be kind of cool too. But it would be neat if we could create some kind of design that we could sort of open source to the backdrop world and say, anybody who wants to get these cards printed, here's the design, put your name and information on it, use as you see fit. So that could be kind of fun. There's an issue in the queue number 228 for that. Mike also mentioned he really wanted a sticker that was specifically designed for an Apple laptop. So we've got an issue 189 that would help us figure out how to get our dragon interacting with the glowing apple on the back of the computer. Right now, if you put the dragon over the apple, his butt glows, and that's maybe not the message we want to send. Make your butt glow with backdrop. But it is definitely something that would be really fun for someone to play with if they want to play with that. We also have this ancient issue, number 121, about creating background images for Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all of the social networking sites, just so we can get a little bit of consistent branding out there across the web. If anyone is interested in other marketing sort of tasks, we have a special tag in the backdropcms.org issue queue for marketing. There's a handful of those that are related to design, so if you've only got a couple minutes and want to contribute to design, there's some good low-hanging fruit in there. So for Backdrop, the product, we are heading towards our 1.5 release, which is scheduled for September 15th, which is about 2 months away, not quite 2 months. In the design-related area, we've got a bunch of things going on, including the new front-end theme, which I don't know if you want to give us an update, Wes, on how that's coming along.
I asked for issues last week and I got a ton. So I have some things to fix. I got to a point with the responsive menu, which isn't directly related, but I thought it'd be good to have in, and working with Basis out of the box. Yeah, the settings aren't working right now, and I don't have the time or gumption to figure that out. I was wondering if I get back and help from somebody. And then the color stuff I haven't worked on for a little while, but Jeff gave me a good starting point. I just need to mess around with it some more.
Okay.
Yeah, I think today I'm just going to be working on clearing out those issues.
Okay. You just mentioned responsive navigation, which looks like that's getting a bunch of attention too, which is great. And then we want to add a new front page layout. I started working on this a couple of weeks ago and realized that we didn't really have anything to put in the new front page layout yet. And so then I also started working on doing the new homepage slidey, imagey thing, banner type thing. So it would have a reason to actually create a new layout that had some specific content in it for the homepage too. And then I was like, I don't know what we should do first. Should we do the homepage layout first, or should we do the new thingy that we can put in the layout first? And at the end of the day, it turns out it doesn't matter which one you do first, because the second one's always going to have to adapt whatever was done in the first one. So I might just try and wrap up the front page layout issue, since that's nice and simple as it is now. And then we can come back to adding a new banner thing after that. But that is also nearing completion, which is good. We also have an issue here, which is just a design review for Project Browser. Project Browser was a great feature we put in 1.4, but I think it could use a little cleanup in terms of what things actually look like. It pulls a whole bunch of data from vectorcms.org and displays it on your screen, and that could probably be cleaned up and displayed in a way that's a little bit prettier to look at. I think it's very usable the way it is now, but it's also kind of dense. So maybe just taking a little kind of look at how that's working and trying to figure out how to make it prettier would be good. So if anyone has any insight on that, issue number 1826 is where we're doing a little cleanup. And then we also have issue 345. Does this one go in recently? There was one that was like a aesthetic cleanup for layout UI that just used some of this isn't the right issue. It's not 345. It's, I don't know. I'll get the right link. But it was something about changing the colors to match the colors in the rest of the admin UI. I think the last time I looked at that one, it was RTBC, but it might have gotten a review since then that un-RTBC'd it. I think there might have been like some CSS that needed to be cleaned up.
Yeah, it looks like you pushed an update. It's 1936. Actually.
1936. Okay, thank you. There we go. No, that's not it.
What's that? Hang on. Oh, sorry, 1935. Ha, one off.
Okay, that's it. 1935. Improve aesthetic of Place Blocks page. Okay, so I'll give that one another look today and see how close it is, but I think it's pretty close. Can go into any time. And that, Darius, I just took the colors that we used on the modules page and I applied them to the layouts page and patterns because I like the modules page. So, and that got a beautiful redesign. So, trying to do the same thing everywhere.
That's design for you.
Yeah, makes you jealous when the undesigned pages aren't as pretty as the design pages. I'm like, I'm gonna fix that. Okay, then we also have a whole bunch of issues scheduled for 1.5. If you want to look at the GitHub issue queue, there's a milestone for 1.5. Not all of them are related to designer review, but there are a few in there. Is there anything else we should talk about? I don't know if you guys want to mention the atomic design stuff or anything we chatted about before starting the recording.
It wasn't particularly pertinent to. So the after Basis gets in, I want to work on the user interface guidelines, and I think Pattern Lab 2 is a good fit. I mentioned that on the last design meeting, but we're not using the Atomic Design stuff. We're using the Pattern Lab tool as a website builder because it has a lot of the moving parts that we want. It's PHP based, doesn't require Node. Yeah, seems like it'd be a good fit.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll be a little ways off.
So I think the human interface repo we have now is already using something.
I think it might be a Bootstrap site, but it's GitHub Pages. I think
It's
just
GitHub Pages, but I don't think it's just a Bootstrap site. I think it's using like whatever this frameworky thing was.
Oh, the thing that GitHub Pages supports. What's that thing? The node-based Jekyll.
I think it is Jekyll. But yeah, as you can see, Wes, it's kind of empty. So if you want to start over in something else that's more intuitive or easier to work on, I'm totally open to that too.
Yeah, it has some really good features in the second version. Like you can add docs with README notation. You can add sample content that your templates can ingest that you can use across the style guide or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Pattern library. So yeah, I think it's a good fit. And it has like you can check breakpoints in it easily, which is a fun kind of exercise.
Okay. I think maybe, I don't know if you want to develop the two in parallel for a while just to make sure we get kind of the same, like we have some pretty good stubs on here for like what a like UX UI pattern should be.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be good to just kind of do what you want to do and then make sure that it matches the, like, you know, so we don't lose the content that's in here, and then we can kind of copy it all over when you're ready and then replace one with the other.
Yep.
Great.
One other thing, Basis isn't showing up in on backdrop.org, backdropcms.org, or Project Browser apparently. I think I did everything right.
No, it's the packager that it's fault.
Okay.
So yes, you're probably fine, but
it is like version 0.1 or something. I didn't know if that mattered.
Yeah, it probably it's almost certainly it. Like if there was a problem that was your fault, it would have given you a packaging error log.txt. It would have attached it to the release. But if it just doesn't do anything, then that means that everything you did was fine, and it was just the packager being broken because GitHub made some changes, and now our packager's been broken for a couple weeks now. So that's my. We'll talk about that during the normal meeting.
Cool.
Okay.
That's all I had.
All right. Well, if that's it, then we should maybe wrap and get ready for the next meeting. 20 minutes.
Had an after talk for you and Jen, or for Nate and Jen. That's related to the next call.
Okay. Well, let's call it a meeting then. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Darius, for joining. Really appreciate
See you guys.
your
Welcome
time.
back.
Thanks. All right, bye, guys.
Bye.